much time do you spend every day managing email in Microsoft Outlook? Hi, I'm Dawn. In this online training, we'll look at 10 ways to save time working with your Outlook email. Number 1, rules. If I could give you only one Outlook tip, it would probably be to use rules. With rules, you can turn Outlook into a personal assistant. Look at what you're doing manually. Many of these actions could be managed with a rule, which are instructions that automatically process your messages using customized actions and criteria. What can rules do with your messages? Some of the options for rules are moving a message to a folder, assigning a message to a category such as training or customers, deleting messages, and forwarding specific messages to a contact group. Here's how we start with a rule. Although it's not required, it can be even easier if you have a specific message highlighted which contains some of the elements that you want as part of your rule. In this example, I have a subscription to Office Watch, which is a newsletter on Microsoft Office. Although I want to read it, I don't want it to be sitting here in my inbox taking up room. Instead, I'd like it to move to another folder so I can read it later. To create a rule, right-click and choose Rules, and then Create Rule. You can also find rules under the Home tab, and here we have rules and we can create a rule. In this case, I want every message from Office Watch to go to a specific folder. I'll select this and then navigate to the folder, which is Tech Newsletters. Now this is all I need to do for this example. However, let's explore advanced options. Perhaps the message isn't from a company or organization. Instead, you may have messages from a specific customer or client or contact. In that case, you might want to create a rule that says with specific words in the sender's address. That means you could actually indicate a domain, for instance, company.com, rather than trying to look for every possible person from that organization that might send you an email, because that can change over time. So this can be a great way to manage key communications from customers or other people that you want to make sure get moved to specific places. Next, review the different actions. It might be instead of moving this message to a specific folder, I want to forward it to my team. So I could forward it to a particular contact group. Or if it's a message from someone who keeps contacting me and I did not want to be on their list, I can't get off their list, you'd have the option to delete it. There are also exceptions that you can build into rules. And once you've done that, name or rename the rule. You also have the option to run the rule now on messages that are already in the inbox, and that can be an easy way to clean this up. I'll go ahead and do that. So we'll finish and close. Now if I look at that Tech Newsletters folder, the message I used to build it, as well as many others, are now here in this other folder. Do you need to make a change? Simply go back to Rules and choose Manage Rules and Alerts. Here you can see all of your available rules, change the order in which they're processed, delete them, or update them. How can you use rules to save time in Outlook to automatically manage how you want to work with your email? Tip number 2, favorite folders. Now think about any Outlook folder that contains email you want to go back to. It normally takes several clicks to get to it. In Outlook, you can take advantage of favorites to quickly move to a folder as long as you need it. Our favorites folders sit above our navigation. To add a folder to favorites, there are several different options for you. One could simply be to drag it. And so here's my Tech Newsletters. In addition to, or instead of a rule, I could simply add Tech Newsletters to my favorites. I'll simply drag it up, and there it is. Or let's take a folder like Training. Right-click, and here is Add to Favorites. What about important projects? I could use either of those options, or we can look at the Folder tab in the ribbon, and here is the choice, Add to Favorites. The nice thing about these favorites is these are just shortcuts, and you can rearrange them. If you no longer need that particular favorite, let's say you've wrapped up a project, simply right-click on it and remove from favorites. The folder itself and all the contents still exist. Nice thing about the favorites is we can just simply click and drag and move messages to those folders. What folders are you going to add to your favorites? Tip number 3, converting an email to a task. Stop using your inbox as your to-do list. Instead, convert messages to tasks so these become to-do items for you. There are multiple options. In this case, I want to review those sales figures, but I don't have time until Monday. So we can hover over this message. And over on the right-hand side, we have a flag. Where this displays depends upon the view that you have of your inbox. In this case, I'll right-click. I could set it up for next week. I actually want to create a specific reminder for this. So here I'm going to flag it so that it will be next Monday, that I will not only have a to-do item, but I will also have a reminder that will come up for me in terms of creating that task. Another way to do that would be to actually open the message. In your messages, under the message tab is our follow-up. And then this gives us those same options for working with your messages. But here's what can make this really handy. Here I have a document that I want to review for the Chocolate Creations website. To make that into a task, I'll simply move to that message and drag it down into my task at the bottom of my navigation. Now in the task, I can set a start date, a reminder, and other elements. We can also approach this a little differently. Instead of left dragging, this time I'm going to hold down my right mouse button and drag it down to task. Now when I let go of my mouse, my options are to copy here as a task with text, which is what we had before. Instead, I'll pick copy here as a task with attachment. What this does is it gives us the entire email message as an attachment in the task. So we can open it up, especially if there's a lot of details within that. And once again, then this could be created as a task for us to be able to review, set up a reminder, and other key elements. And here's my task in Outlook. It's a good practice to then take that message and move it into a different folder, whether it's to review, processed, but something that will take it out of the inbox because we've now converted it to an action item. Tip number 4, converting email to an appointment. This is very much like taking email to a task, but in this case, we actually want to take that content, that email, and move it to an appointment or a meeting. For this, I'm going to hold down my right mouse button, drag down to my calendar in the navigation, let go of my mouse, and you have the option to move the message and create an appointment with the attachment, or copy it, or we could even have a shortcut back to that original message. In this case, I have an appointment. If this is just for my own purposes, then I can put it into the calendar at a specific time, but I can also make it into a meeting. And notice that we still have access to those attachments. By inviting attendees, I change the appointment to a meeting. I've got all the details here, and I'll send it on its way. Tip number 5, read aloud. Read aloud allows you to hear the text of an email while following along. It's Read Aloud in Outlook Desktop, and it's the Immersive Reader in Outlook for the web. Just to make sure that you have this feature available or to enable it, go to File, Options, choose Ease of Access, and select if necessary, Show Read Aloud. I'm in a message where I'd like to take advantage of this feature. In the Message tab, here is Read Aloud. Let's see how it works.
Hi Chris, please review the attached document for our Chocolate Creations website.
Notice that you have an easy-to-use toolbar where you can play or pause, move ahead, move back to the beginning. If you want to start from a specific location, you can actually go to that word and then choose play.
Document for our Chocolate Creations.
You can also use the toolbar to change the settings. These include adjusting the reading speed, perhaps moving it up, and you can even choose from different voices. Here's an example of it, just a little bit speeded up.
Hi Chris. Please review the attached document for our Chocolate Creations website. Thanks for your help. Hayden.
Number 6, dictation. Dictation lets you use speech to text to create content in Outlook. It's good to know this feature is only available to Microsoft 365 subscribers with the Outlook desktop app. You can use dictation from a new message or reply. You'll find it under the Message tab of the ribbon, and here is Dictate. Before I turn it on, it's helpful to know that you can use it in the subject line or the body of the message. To insert punctuation at any time, say it explicitly, very much like if you're using voice to text for a text message. And then you would fix your mistakes with your keyboard. So click on the option, look for the button to turn on, and then start dictating. This is my subject line. The dictation feature is a handy way to create and respond to messages. Period. Smiley face. And that's all you need to do. How will this save you time in Outlook? Number 7, delay delivery. What if you need to send out a message next week, or you're working on the weekends or the evening and you don't want to bother people outside of working hours? You can take these items off your to-do list by creating a message with a delayed delivery. Start first by creating a new email message or reply to an existing message. Here I want to reply, but I want to be respectful of the working hours of my team members. To delay the delivery, I'll find this under Options, and in the More Options group, Delay Delivery. Here is my option, do not deliver before, and I'd like this to go out Monday morning. You'll notice that there's other delivery options that you might want to explore. For this, I'll close. Then complete your message and send it. Your delayed messages will sit in your outbox until the delivery time has passed. Your scheduled messages will then be sent out as long as you are connected online or Outlook is run from an Exchange server. And here's my message in my outbox, waiting to be sent at a more appropriate time. Number 8, quick steps. Quick steps in Outlook let you apply multiple actions to a message with one click. You'll find quick steps in the Home tab of the ribbon. Outlook includes several default quick steps, including moving to a folder and creating a message for a team. Quick steps can be a great way to simplify repetitive steps. Unlike rules, which are always on and automatically process incoming mail, you decide when you want to use a quick step. You can also create your own and delete the ones that you don't need. For this quick step, I want to move a message to a folder and then mark it as read. So although I could modify this existing one, instead I'll choose Create New. I want this quick step to take any type of technology newsletters or Microsoft mailings and move them to my Tech Newsletters folder. So I'll name it for that purpose. Next, choose an action for the quick step. Take some time to review these different actions. It could be anything from moving to a folder, changing the status, flagging with categories, changing a message to a task, responding, many of the key things that we do in Outlook. For this, I'll move to a folder and then choose the folder, which is my Tech Newsletters. That might be all that we need. I'll add one more action, and this is to mark the message as read. You would continue to add actions as they apply, and so the sequence of actions will happen simply by clicking on the quick step. If this is a quick step that you anticipate you'll be using a lot, you could also assign it an optional shortcut key. And now I'll finish. To try this out, I could simply move to the message. You'll see that this quick step now is displayed in my quick steps group in the Home tab, and click on it once. Or my keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-1 in this case. Regardless of how I applied the quick step, those two messages have moved to my Tech Newsletters folder. Once you've created some quick steps, you can also manage them. Simply click into this group, and here is Manage Quick Steps. From here, we have the option to move the quick step up or down in the list. You can edit a quick step, duplicate one to add or change some of the actions, or delete quick steps you no longer need. Explore these options to see how you can take advantage of quick steps in Outlook. Number 9, quick parts. Whether you are composing a new message or replying to an existing message, quick parts might be one of the most time-saving ways to easily build a message. In Outlook, use quick parts to store and reuse boilerplate text and content you want to use on an ongoing basis. These might include responses to requests for information, common replies, and other repetitive content like messages to committee or board members. To create a quick part, you can open up a new message and type in the text you want to reuse, or even open up a previously sent message that already contains the content. Here I have really generic text, but quick parts can include formatting, multiple paragraphs, even images. And know that you can have more than one quick part within an email message. Next, highlight the text that you want to store as a quick part. In this case, I just press Ctrl-A. You could drag across it as well to select. The formatting and the content will both be stored with each quick part. Now go to Insert in the Ribbon tab. And on the right-hand side, here we see quick parts. Pick Save Selection to Quick Part Gallery. Provide a descriptive name. And then you can store it either in the general category or create a new category based upon the types of content that you want to use over and over again. Here I'll create a new category called Proposals. Type in an optional description. This is what you will see as a screen tip when you hover over this building block or quick part. The default is to insert the content only, but you can see that there are other options as well. Next, I'll choose OK. Now to use the quick part either in a brand new message or in a reply to a message, simply move to the body of your message, choose Insert, go back to Quick Parts, and you may have quite a selection of different choices. That's where the categories can come in handy. Here I will pick this response. And this is just email message text, and so I can customize it, add other quick parts and other content. If you want to replace a quick part, simply repeat those steps and then Outlook will ask you if you want to replace an existing quick part. So you can call it the same thing and update it that way. Or you can go to Quick Parts, hover over an existing quick part and right click. And here you see options not only in terms of how you can insert it, but you can also organize and delete your existing quick parts. Unlike signatures, you can add multiple quick part entries within one email message. Number 10, the Quick Access Toolbar. One of the easiest ways to save time in Microsoft Outlook is to take advantage of the Quick Access Toolbar. You might not have even noticed that this is available. The Quick Access Toolbar sits above your Ribbon tab, and it includes some preset options. So for instance, here is Send and Receive and Undo. But there's a lot more that we could add. There are 3 different techniques for customizing the Quick Access Toolbar. The first is to look for this drop-down arrow to the right-hand side. And from here, you'll see some commonly used actions in Outlook. These include Reply, Reply All, and so simply select the ones you want. The check mark indicates which ones are currently on the Quick Access Toolbar. And I could continue. However, that isn't everything that I might want to do. Now, one of the things that's interesting in Outlook is that each one of our key areas has its own custom Quick Access Toolbar, and that's different than our other Office applications like Excel and Word. And so in a new email message, I now have a separate Quick Access Toolbar, and this includes Save, Undo, Redo. I could go to my previous message or item or my next one, and once again, that drop-down arrow for various options that are related specifically to an email. But let's think of some other options that might be really handy to add. For instance, our quick parts. or delay delivery. And so I'll move into the body of the message, and that will give me access to some of these choices, for instance, our quick parts. And then next, insert, here's quick parts. Now, I actually don't want to add any quick parts right now, but I want that to be available. So I'll right click, and here is the option. I'll left click on Add to Quick Access Toolbar. What about Delay Delivery? This is under the Options tab. Once again, right click, left click, Add to Quick Access Toolbar. I find that the Quick Access Toolbars are a lot easier to see if they are below the ribbon. They can either be above or below the ribbon. This is an easy fix. Return back to that drop-down arrow, and at the bottom here is Show Below the Ribbon. The other thing to know about our Quick Access Toolbars is they're not specific to a message. When you close out of Outlook and you come back in, they will still be there. So these are specific then to whatever the action is. Is it creating a new email or replying to a message? Are you in your inbox? The third way to customize the Quick Access Toolbar is to go to this drop-down arrow again and choose More Commands. The other option to get to the same place is simply right-click on the Quick Access Toolbar and choose Customize Quick Access Toolbar. You can also get to this dialog box through File Options. On the right-hand side, we see the tools that are currently part of this Quick Access Toolbar. This is where you can rearrange these tools as well as remove them if you no longer need them. On the left-hand side, we see popular commands, a variety of actions that are frequently used. So for instance, from our email, perhaps we want to be able to easily get to the Manage Rules and Alerts option. And simply select this, choose Add. And if you'd like to create a new meeting, a new appointment, each of these are options you could add to the Quick Access Toolbar. So let's add a new meeting. We could also double click on this, or perhaps a new email. I'll double click, and a new task. Additional options are available through the drop-down under All Commands. To change the order of these options, simply select it and use the up or down arrow keys to move them to a new location on the Quick Access Toolbar. Each time you come into Outlook, these custom Quick Access Toolbars will be available to you. How will you take advantage of the Quick Access Toolbar in Outlook? Now you've seen 10 ways to save time and effort by managing email in Microsoft Outlook. Thanks for watching.